Greetings everyone, here's Lodric again, and this is the game War in the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my second match against KilRoy. He is the commander of the Allied Forces. For me, it is the Emperor of Japan. This is still Scenario 1, but on the new map version 27. Yeah, these are the last days of February, the last week. So I try to finish my operations in Java and Sumatra. And also stabilize the front lines on New Caledonian, trying to hold off additional Allied landings and secure my position in Nomaya. And sooner or later, I hope maybe we can have a carrier battle, because so far we always miss each other. But my submarine's finding here AP, but this is maybe already finished with unloading, and only one torpedo hit out of 4 is also not the best, but still torpedo hit for AP with sinking sound. That is nice. This is a Mark 14 American submarine, and again in this game there is always Mark 14 working. There is no delay. And this is my convoy. Get intercepted, luckily hit nothing. Night bombardments against melee, but no effect. And second attempt for this submarine, and deep water and far too early. No chance. This submarine attack also against AK failed. So the last days my submarines are not so successful. Still, Allied ships are sinking. It's only the amount of tonnage I can destroy is a little low these days. But at least one good submarine attack today. There's a big AO, and my mini rowboat was able to hit with 1 out of 2 torpedoes. This is a good chance, 50% hit. AO is on fire, but this has a short torpedo, so they don't really have too much damage potential. And this is now the next heavy cruiser. Can escape my heavy torpedo attack, 6 torpedoes, and again no hit. So KilRoy is very lucky this last 2-3 days. Light cruiser and 2 heavy cruisers, and shortly before there was a carrier. They all miss my torpedoes, but okay. So there are some Dauntless bombers going for my patrol boats. And the American airbase out of Cebu still operational. Good. First more ground attacks on Borneo. Finish off this Dutch, British leftover base forces. And today I choose more or less to use my zeros for escort, because you can only have 1 escort or cap. And my patrol boats going for torpedo attacks. But I only find here small AMs, and I cannot even hit them. A lot of torpedoes, no hit. But if I hit now the AMs or not is not really game changing. I need to hit enemy transport ships, tankers, or military equipment. This is the daily bombardment in China. And I also bombard now Hanoi. And out of Nanning there are some Allied bombers. But the amount of payload is too small to really have impact. Today I was able to intercept this Dutch Air Force, Dutch-British, out of Batavia. Not more much left, but still some airplanes are operational. And after this airstrike, there's at least less left for KilRoy to use on Java. So this was the morning, no carrier strike today. So can be that my carriers just show up and KilRoy already left back to Pearl Harbor. Then we miss each other the third time maybe already. I think once at Port Moresby, at Nomaya, and maybe now at Marshall Islands already twice. So always no carrier clash up to now. So second attempt, attack on these AMs. And maybe with some more Sake it is better to hit. All three AMs are dead. So I'm not so sure if these are the same AMs or this is the other group of AMs. We will maybe soon know. But 3 ships left, less left for KilRoy. But these are minesweepers, nothing more. So these are ships, I think they follow up an invasion to clear the base and hex of enemy mines. Not so sure why they are here now. But of course you can also use them for anti-submarine duty. Yeah. No other airstrike. More sinking. So bombardment of Aichang. This is only really a stalemate. And I try to kick this 25th Chinese army here. I win the battle because the Chinese are out of supplies. But I need to kick a little more. East of Kaifeng, this is only base force. And now this unit is destroyed. And the Japanese cleanup division forces Chinese units also to leave the hex. More or less empty now. The Mongolian army is going south to link up with some other troops to open the highway. So next successful land battle. And yeah, this British division or army out of Rangoon, I think. They was able to more or less escape. But I think now, I don't know if they can leave this hex because all the north hex are Japanese dot bases. So I think the only way that English can go is maybe this small road. Yeah. And here you can also see that here some Chinese space support stuff. So this is for aircraft AV support. But my 15th army, I mean, I don't have here too many troops because I fight mostly on Java still. But it's enough to take the base. And force the enemy to retreat. And also 4 damaged flying tigers are here on the ground getting destroyed. I'm not sure if they... let's say they're destroyed. Good. And I take also the other mountain source of Batavia. I won't take this hex before I take Batavia so that no enemy forces retreat to a mountain. Cebu, failed attack. But the defender is not out of supply, so maybe I need here a little support. Maybe some airstrikes or something. Nomaya is now stalemate for me. We bombard each other, it's okay. And this Australian unit is also digging in nothing more. Good. So, air losses was higher for the allies, mainly because there are now in this report 6 destroyed flying tigers, ops losses, plus Blenheims are killed in Java, and some also other airplanes. This is all destroyed on Java by my zeros. For me, this is I also had losses, but I think compared to the allies, smaller. Still 3 pilots are dead. Ship sunk. These 3 AMs go down for sure, but they are mine sweepers with small anti-sub capability. This AP is okay, nothing too big, nothing too crazy, but yeah, maybe if the AO go down, that would be a nice hit. But I'm not so sure. It was only a robo torpedo. So more battles here in China. Kungchang is more or less in range of my troops. So I have here the first army coming from the south and the Mongolian army from the north, and then I can take the base, and then there's also a highway connection that more better supplies can flow. After this I can maybe focus on singing, and then I maybe take the Mongolian army to take the Inner Mongolian, and the rest can go for Sichuan. There's also some Chinese units crossing here the mountain to block my supply flow from behind, of course. Makes sense. But I think most of the Chinese units are simply really low on supplies, because the Burma road is closed, and my non-stop airstrikes, I think, will also burn a lot of supplies here in China. In KilRoy I have here this heavy engagement in Aichang and also here in Nanchang. So this will also burn a lot of supplies. So I'm not so sure how many or how well these Chinese units can survive this kind of war. Of course, this is also not the best days for me for supplies, but the worst days are over. More or less now, there's not more many bases with a lack of supplies. All this yellow information symbols are disappeared now. Now I have only the red one. This normally is something more seriously. But this is often only because the army just moved inside a hex. And then of course there's always not enough supplies because it's need always up to 1 week to balance out. Supplies are needed if there's a bunch of units coming at once. So also my drive on north of Burma is continued. There's nothing really stopping me. The main British army is more or less blocked here. There's maybe a new, but it's only single unit maybe to open the hex. You can see that so the allies could retreat more or less in every direction, only not to this base. But I control these 2 hexes, so no supplies can come from this small road. But there's still supplies maybe flowing down, or reaching the British in this direction. But the British are still trying to retreat, if I understand it right. Maybe KilRoy try to get these units back to the border to India. But I control the seas, I control the sky, so yeah, we can try. Nothing else happened here. So my units arriving in my army arrived at Batavia. I have here still this support unit taking this base first, then I can maybe link up. So soon we have the Battle of Batavia, and at the same time my army catching here this retreating army units out of Surabaya. They are all broken. I think I must kick them once or twice, and same here. Not more much left to kick on Java. So there's no real active battle on New Caledonian, and I think this will also not change too much. I am not strong enough to take on this triple defense hex. It's a jungle rough, so it's really hard to take. And I think there's also, if there's a unit cannot retreat, then of course they will fight to the last moment before they break. So it is, if there was, or for me, my units will retreat more easily because I can retreat. But if you cannot retreat and you simply have only the option between surrender and fight another day, then you simply try, okay, I think then the units simply they try to fight and fight and fight, and then they die. I don't know if it's really realistic. I would normally see the opposite. Like if you cannot retreat, you have more the tendency to give up. But yeah, let's say this is a game mechanic. At the Marshall Islands, this is maybe here the hotspot. At least some turns ago, my carriers arrive, but nothing more left from KilRoy to see. I mean, there are still some ships here, so I will maybe hunt for the support ships, but the main body, the carriers, they are not more here. But it's okay, this will give me the opportunity to maybe sink here some ships and check out how strong KilRoy's attempt to really take on Marshall Islands was so far. Good. Then let's say and see next time. Bye bye.